Okay guys, so this is 6 Mile Canyon. We came up through Devil's Gate, Gold Hill, and like you can go down that way, but I didn't. I wanted to take 6 Mile Canyon, guys. This is where gold was discovered, in this canyon. And supposedly there was a big robbery at the Bank of California in town there, and somewhere along this canyon is a big stockpile of the gold that was stolen. But nobody's ever found it, obviously, right? There's a lot of these lost treasure stories, but 6 Mile Canyon has its own lost treasure story, guys. It's like this is where gold was discovered, right? The two Mormon guys, they discovered it, and then the Grouch brothers, and then, you know, Comstock and his whole thing, but he didn't even discover it. He was just I don't even know what he was. He was a weirdo and basically convinced everybody that this was his land, right? This entire town site was all his. So, but this is 6 Mile Canyon, guys. And then we're heading out into the 40-mile desert after this. So we're gonna finally hit like desert. And for you Canadians, myself included, we don't get desert. Like we get a Soyuz in the Okanagan, but that's not like this. So exciting, guys. Really, really exciting because we get to see the desert now. Look at this. It's so cool. 6 degrees Celsius right now. What is that? 38, 40 for you Americans. So not cold at all. Basically, really nice. This does remind me of BC, though. I don't know why, but this specific energy right around here. Alrighty, guys, so here we are. California Gold Rush Trail, traveling through hell. This is the 40-mile desert, a barren stretch of waterless alkali wasteland. It was the single most dreaded section of the entire California Trail, from the banks of the Missouri to California. If possible, it was traveled by night to avoid the great heat during the day. Regardless of its horrors, it became the accepted route. The trail splits 3 miles southeast of here into 2 main trails to California, the Carson River and Truckee routes. Each route had its advantages and disadvantages, but both of them included a 40-mile long stretch before water could be reached. Starvation for men, animals stalked every mile. A survey in 1850 showed these appalling statistics: 1,061 dead mules, almost 5,000 horses, 3,750 cattle, and 953 graves. The heaviest traffic came from 1849 to 1859. The road is still being used by some travelers after completion of the Central Pacific Railroad. This part of the California Trail was one of the places where you would often see the elephant. Samuel C. Plummer, 1850, we began to get a glimpse of the posterior parts of the elephant. From this, he became rapidly in sight, and we got a view of him from tail to trunk. And then John T. Clapp, July 15th, 1850. Here indeed was a picture of misery, which I had witnessed before, being hardened to the scenes of the like character. Dead horses and oxen in great numbers, with steaks cut out of their flesh, lay scattered over the land, and men without a morsel to eat were begging from wagon to wagon, offering all they had for a little dry bread. The more dishonest, however, were practicing the crafty scheme of theft. Brutal, guys. Just absolutely brutal. The California Gold Rush Trail. And then this is the historical Nevada sign. Battleborn, 150th anniversary of statehood. Nevada lies within the Great Basin, where rivers drain into lake beds and sinks, never reaching an ocean. The broad valley around this location contains 2 of these terminal lake basins, or sinks. One for the Humboldt River, arising in the northeastern Nevada, and the other for the Carson River, flowing from the Sierra Nevada to the southwest. Near the end of the Ice Age, much of this region was beneath the waters of Lake Lahontan. As Lahontan's water receded, 2 lake basins formed, separated by a massive gravel bar to the north. Archaeologists have concluded that over the last 12,000 years, Native Americans occupied the region, prospering when the valley supported extensive wetlands. From about 9,800 years ago, Native Americans utilized Leonard Rock Shelter, a National Historic Landmark, and other caves carved from the bedrock by Lake Lahontan's waves. Remnants of stored tools and food recovered from the caves include nets, fish hooks, dried fish, water bird remains, duck decoys, and basketry made from willows or tulle. When European American explorers entered the area in the 1830s, the area was dominated by vast wetlands that still supported Numa northern Paiute villages. Dwight D. Eisenhower Highway, father of the interstate highway system. In August 1973, the U.S. Congress designated a cross-country stretch of interstate as the Dwight D. Eisenhower Highway, in tribute to President Eisenhower's early recognition for the need for a national network of highways to enhance the mobility of a growing nation. His dream originated in 1919 on an army convoy from Washington, D.C. to San Francisco, a journey that took 62 years. On June 29, 1956,
President Eisenhower signed the historic legislation that created the National System of Interstate and Defense Highways and Federal Highway Trust Fund. Today, that system stands as a monument to Eisenhower's vision as a young Army officer, a legacy of safety and mobility that has brought all Americans closer together. So we're here, guys, and we're going up here, Winnemucca, and then we're going to take the 95 out. But this is the California Trail. We're not going to follow it all the way. So the California Trail had its beginnings at several points along the Missouri River and included several variant routes across the Great Basin and over the Sierra Nevada mountains into California. With the completion of the Transcontinental Railroad in 1869, most travelers made this journey by rail. That was common. You can see, guys, the offshoot trails, Salt Lake City. Driving through this is like intense enough, let alone spending a month walking that way with your wagon, your family, and everybody's dying, and you can only travel at night, and like miserable. We're at 40-mile desert now, so we're gonna get a taste of what these guys had to go through, just modern times version of it, right? So it's really, really cool.
Well, guys, here we are. Great Basin Desert, Nevada. I learned apparently from talking to the townspeople that it's not Nevada, guys. That's how they know you're not from the state. We're just about to come into Fernley, our first stop of the day here. We're gonna have some breakfast, talk a little bit about the trains, the California Immigrant Trail for the California Gold Rush, because we're following in the footsteps, guys, of the California Gold Seekers for the Overland Road. So they were going the same way that Mark Twain would have taken to come out to Virginia City. We're also going the same way that the California Gold Rush immigrants, because they call them immigrants, we're taking. It's pretty historic, guys. There's old wagon tracks at the side of the highway, and there's all these historic markers. There's the Lincoln Highway, the Transcontinental Railway comes through here. There's the Carson Sink, the Humboldt Sink. Like, it's a whole ton of really cool, interesting stuff here. And it's the kind of stuff that, like, in Canada, we don't have any of it at all. Like, nothing like this, right? Like, we're entering a region, guys, where no water flows out to the ocean. The Carson Sink is just a massive, exactly what it sounds like, a sink where all water goes to die, basically. Like, so part of the problem in the desert, especially in the 40-mile desert when they were crossing through, was they had these alkaline lakes, crazy caustic like kind of water that basically like is undrinkable for animals, humans. Like, it wasn't usable. There's water there, but it's going to kill you if you drink it. So it made traveling through this region really difficult. You guys are kind of seeing a raw Sasquatch prospector here, guys. Like, I'm completely out of my element here. I'm not from a desert. I've never have been. I live in Canada, rainforest, so it's the complete opposite of this. But I like adventure, and I like learning, and I like experiencing new things, right? So this is going to be we're all going to be learning this together. But yeah, guys, if you're watching and you're from Nevada, which is apparently how you say it, and you got some, cool anecdotes or stories or cool fun facts, please share.
Hey guys, Sasquatch here. So just continuing through the Great Basin, California Trail. Look at the desert, guys. A grease bucket, essential requirement for overland journey. The axles of wagon required frequent lubrication to offset the effects of trail dust on moving parts. Prairie schooner. This was the wagons they used, guys. These sturdy wagons were the primary vehicle on the trail west. They served as conveyances for both cargo and people and shelter from the elements. Sunbonnet. Along with the wide brim hats worn by men, the women's sunbonnet provided protection from the burning rays of the sun. So they say, look to the end of that valley. That's a day's travel. So if you walked from here to that mountain over there, or like down there, you're looking at a day's travel just to do that. Like, it was brutal. California Gold Rush Trail, Winnemucca. We're coming up to the end of our little excursion on it, though. Once we hit Winnemucca, that'll kind of conclude it. And then we're going to take the 95, and then we're going to start a whole nother thing, but it's going to get really, really cool. This is a really cool route, guys. I was talking to some people, some locals, and they were like, oh, this is the hardcore route. This is the serious route. So I'm excited, guys, because we got the blessings of the locals, which is what you want.
Alrighty, guys, California Gold Rush Trail here. We're about 40 miles outside Winnemucca. Just been traveling through the desert. Cool, man. It's so cool here. I know you Nevadans and Southern Americans are probably laughing at me right now, but Canadian in the desert. I don't know, man. It's cool. I like it. Like I said, I've never been down like a real desert like this, and it's just super cool. It's got a vibe, and I think the history is really cool. That it's California Gold Rush is here. We got the railway here. The Dwight Eisenhower Highway stuff that was really cool about the interstates and how they wanted mobility in the country, and how the country has become so much more prosperous through its highway system because all these truckers. Right. Me and the truckers, basically as usual, guys, right? And then we got the odd work truck, but other than that, this time of year, it's just it's all business for the most part. 80 miles an hour here, though, fast, guys. For you Canadians, that's 129 kilometers an hour. Yeah, like we're ripping, man. That's faster than the Coke. The Coke is 120 an hour, so we're 10 above the Coke, like legal, like 80 miles an hour, guys. Like that's the speed limit. So. It's fast driving, but I could see why, because it's very flat, and doing 60 here would be like, it would take forever and it would just be really painful. And you can see like there's not much that you've got to really worry about on the road. Like obviously you've got traffic and the typical things, but it's not like a mountain road where you've got like switchbacks and grades and drop-offs and sections of the road that are all washed out or narrowed, right? Like it's just a nice wide 2-lane interstate highway right through the Great Basin. Imagine doing this on foot. Like we drove from Virginia City to Winnemucca in 4 hours. You tell the old guys for back in the day about that, they'd be like, no, there's no way, right? Even trains aren't like back in the day weren't that fast. Like the whole seeing the elephant thing I thought was really cool when people said this part of the desert is where you can say you saw the elephant. And so Europeans would have circus shows, right? And they take the circus shows across America, and elephants were in the circus. And these pioneers had never, unless you've traveled to Asia, right? They've never seen an elephant before. And so the people that were making their way to California, taking the journey, they would go to the circus and they would see the elephant. And then so when, you go back to like, San Francisco or any of the big cities are more kind of like down to earth, like in war and reality, like not so far out in nothingness of the bush, they would say, oh yeah, I saw the elephant, and everybody would say, you got to see the elephant. Well, I love certain areas where it's like it's stained with history, partly because I think the history is so intense, and like they said, the amount of dead animals and people that died and like the suffering and stuff, it's definitely. And like I could see easily, like I said, we're doing this in winter because I didn't want to drive through here in the summertime, because I was in Vegas in the summer one time and it was like 45 degrees Celsius, and I'm Canadian. I can't handle that kind of heat. I'm not built for that. So I figured, we'll come down in the winter, right, when it's cooler and kind of more Canadian style weather, right? Alrighty, guys. So here we are downtown Winnemucca. It's the end of the California Gold Rush Trail for us, guys. Been doing the boards here and the signs. So we got California Gold Rush Trail, and then Winnemucca, established 1866. The grass is greener. When immigrants got to this point along the California Trail, most have been traveling on the south side of the Humboldt River. With literally tens of thousands of animals traveling with the immigrants, available grass became more scarce every year, particularly in the late summer months. With good grass on the north side and easy crossing of the river to get there, this was an attractive spot for weary immigrants. In their journey thus far, they had crossed a good part of the continent one day and one step at a time. The biggest challenge, however, the dreaded 40-mile desert, was getting closer by the day. The depths of stamina of both people and animals were sorely tested in the days ahead. California Trail. So we're gonna go 95 now, up in the north. See if this is the Humboldt River. So it's gonna finish up our California Gold Rush thing for the most part. There's one little more stop, but at this point we're leaving the California Gold Rush Trail. We're setting out on our own. We are on the 95 now. North, heading north. We're heading back to Canada, guys. As usual with my road trips, the process of traveling home takes several days, guys. It's not like, we put in an 8-hour day of driving and we're home. So we're basically in northwestern Nevada now, north of Winnemucca, and we're going to hit McDermott, which is right almost on the border of Oregon and Nevada. That's where the McDermott caldera is, and all the lithium mining and lithium ore, largest lithium deposit in the U.S. And then we're going to get into Oregon, southern Oregon. It's very, very, very remote here, guys. There's nothing here, really. Oh, I got to keep my brain going here because, it's like, look in front of me here. So anyways, we're in northern Nevada now. We've seen signs for antelope.
bighorn or longhorn cows. But we're right up in the top here, guys. There's mines all around here. It's amazing the comparison between America, and obviously America has so many more people, how America doesn't have a lot of, like, you know, long stretches of nothingness. But I must say, this little chunk right here is, there's not nothing. Like, there's, you know, there's a house there and stuff like that. It's so isolated, guys. And the federal government owns most of this land. This is all federal government property. But we're the only ones on this road, guys, so far. Like, I've seen some trucks. I have seen a few sheriffs. The sheriffs have been out. We're the only ones heading north, right? We're right at the tip of northern Nevada. We're about to come into McDermott. And they're in a whole caldera right now. The McDermott caldera. It's an extinct volcano. Cover what calderas are, right? They're collapsed volcanoes. But we're coming up to the only stop, really, for the next little bit, which is McDermott. So I see a little gas station over there. We'll hit her up, get a refill. But there's not much, guys. It's bush up here. Just us and the trucks. Here we are, guys. The high desert. Northern Nevada, northwestern Nevada in the high desert. The 95 north, guys. Just about to come into McDermott and the border with Oregon. And then we continue up through northern Oregon. But we're going to hit a really isolated stretch, guys. There's really nothing here. A couple little ranches. Some mines in the mountains. But you can see, guys, it's remote. There's a monument here, though, so let's check out what that monument is. Members of the Civilian Conservation Corps Company 1212, Paradise Camp F5, who gave their lives for the conservation of Nevada's natural resources while fighting fires about 3 miles east of this point, July 28, 1939. Oh. They died in a fire. Wow. Well, rest in peace, guys. Remote, man. Very, very isolated, very remote. You can see Highway 95. McDermott's a small little native community. Might be a place to get some gas. I got gas, though I don't need gas, but it's always good to top up. But then we're gonna head into Oregon. It's gonna get even more remote. Welcome to McDermott. So, we're going to cross the state line here. Just any second now. I'm driving. Oh, I see welcome to Oregon. Welcome to Oregon, guys. We're back into Oregon now. Making our way north. Through the Great Basin. We're going to switch to the 78, the Steens Highway. The Steens Mountain. I don't know, any Oregon guys, you might know what I'm talking about. Steens Mountain, the extinct shield volcano. So we're entering a really cool region, guys. We're entering a region of old volcanoes. You can see these geologic formations. It's really, really cool here. The Columbia basalts came a little bit down here. So you'll see it's similar to like up north near like Warm Springs and stuff. It's much more isolated and rugged here. We're going to drive through Steens Park, and Steens Mountain is really, really nice. The Alvord Desert, too, guys. There's hot springs everywhere. But you can kind of see that's all lava, guys. It's all lava rock. And then over many, many, many thousands of years, sediment is what you see, these little fields of grass and stuff. And you can notice that the sagebrush is changing, too. It's not just sagebrush all over. There's a lot more grass here. But this is all volcanic stuff, guys. Volcanic formations. The 95 will take you up to Boise. But we're not going to Boise. And then the 78 is going to take us to Bend, right? We want to get to Bend. So we're just driving through the Oregon part of the desert of the Great Basin. This is a really flat part, so it's always harder. Oh, entering mountain times. We're going that way. The weather looks good. The weather doesn't look so great over there. It looks like there's a storm passing through. Where we're going, it looks good. So we got another 19 kilometers on the 95, and then we're pulling off the 95, which will be nice because it's going to cut east and head to Boise after. I mean, we don't want to go to Boise. Although Boise's closer, but no. Look at this. Oh, prairies. I'm not a flatlander. Or Nevada chunk was awesome, but
This Southern Oregon part is just, ugh, mind-numbing. But anyways, guys, Steens Mountain over there. Nice clear sky, so that's where we're headed. We're going to turn in 6 kilometers and go that way. And then we should be in Burns about an hour and a half. Southern Oregon, guys. Just the side of the highway here. Taking a breather. Long drive, man. 8 hours today.
Continue for 92 miles.
Alrighty, guys, so we're just driving through the mountains here. You see a lot of these are old extinct volcanoes, guys. Shield volcanoes, stuff. The whole region has been progressively welding itself together for millions of years, right? So we've seen a lot of cool rock formations and stuff, but nobody on this road though. But it's a well-maintained road. Like the road itself is in good shape, but it would be, I can't even imagine how dark this would be at night if you did this at night. I've seen a single street light or any sign of civilization for about 20-30 minutes now. And as you can see, it is cold. It's not cold here. It's 9 degrees right now, but it has been. And they have gotten snow here. We're about 10 miles out of Crane. Wow, man. The 78, the Steens Highway. There's nothing on here. We just started seeing power lines again. We just started seeing like houses and like road signs. Like there's cows here now. Like even like in Canada we've got isolation like that, but I've never seen that in America before because America's so big. But like people wise, but we found, yeah, no, like for probably a good hour I saw 1 car, maybe 2. No power lines, no houses, no side roads, nothing. No signs of anything other than just the road. And like I said, the occasional driver. No cell service. Very, very, very remote. It just goes right through the middle of nowhere. Like there's nothing here. If you look at it on the map, I'll get the picture of it. We're like right in the middle of southeastern Oregon here. Like it's all the only people that live here are farmers and ranchers. And then we'll be coming into Burns in about 25 miles, which is that's like an actual place. So frankly, it'll be nice just to see some sign of civilization again. Wow. Alrighty, guys, so Sasquatch here. Whoa, it's a marathon today. 8 hours and 11 minutes from Virginia City to Bend, and that's not with stops, guys. That's like straight too, so it's longer, right? Because we've stopped and took a few detours, so it's been a long day, guys. So we're gonna lose the sun in about an hour. We're gonna lose daylight, so we'll be doing last hour probably in the dark, but that's fine because we're going to be going into Bend, so there'll be street lights, all that stuff. But this is Southern Oregon, guys. We're in the mountain time zone because we're right along the border with Idaho, and then now we've come back into Pacific time, so we've done basically a huge arc. The whole day we've been doing a big arc. The weather's changing. It's 4 degrees now and raining, but another 2 degrees drop and we could be looking at snow here. I know that sounds weird, but we were driving down, we were in Bend area and it was like 2 degrees and we were getting little flakes of powder. So we've been really lucky though. We finished Steens, like that Steens Park mountain area. Wow, man, remote is all I got to say. Even for a Canadian guy who's I'm used to pretty remote stuff, that was like there's nothing, like literally nothing. So if you are going to take that route, guys, full tank of gas. Make sure you get a full tank of gas. Because, yeah, no, it could be it could be pretty, like there was literally nothing. We saw maybe 2 cars the entire stretch of that road. No side roads, no cell service, no data, nothing. We're starting to get back into it. As you can see, we got tower there, we got service again. Burns is coming up, Bend is coming, so we're getting better, guys. We're coming up to the junction here for the 20. We're done with the Steens Highway, guys. 78. Whew. Wow, man, must say, good road, fun road, isolated and desolate road. Like, you can't even tell how windy it is because there's no frame of reference for it. So it's really weird and disorienting, I found. And the horizon, like staring off into the horizon, you know, for like 60 miles, literally, just, and it weighs on a guy after a while. So I'm happy that we're not doing that anymore. And we're going to get off the 78. That was a great road. We're coming into Burns, Oregon. This is southeastern Oregon, guys. So Idaho's pretty close by. Hard working man town here at Burns. It's a bunch of farmers and ranchers and hard working blue collar people. Burns is actually one of the places kind of involved in the greater Idaho movements because they just don't feel like they identify with Oregon as much, just politically. So they'd like to become part of Idaho, but it's a whole thing. And, you know, Oregon would have to actually like talk to Idaho and they'd have to do a whole thing. And it's wouldn't happen. But there are people that, you know, have the sentiment of like they don't want to live in Oregon anymore. This is Burns, guys. Oh man, a long day. So we left Virginia City today, apparently, early in the morning, and then had some amazing experiences in Nevada, and then up to McDermott, and then Steens, and now we're just making the final push to Bend. I see clear sun on the horizon, which is nice. Got some beautiful little mountains, some volcanoes over there. So, anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the driving through Nevada on the California Immigrant Trail for the Gold Rush, as well as our little adventure that we took doing the Steens Highway, talking a little bit about volcanoes, just experiencing the isolation of the desert, right? But we're home stretch now, so I'm gonna sign off for tonight. Anyways, guys, if you like this kind of content, you're a road tripper and you want to know things about road trips, or you like history, or whatever appeals to you with my channel, make sure to like and subscribe, hit the bell icon to get notified. Sasquatch Prospect, hello.